Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Mellow Math Teacher, here for part 5 of Let's Play Mario Golf for the N64. We are now going to play a multiplayer match. I will play as Baby Mario, and I will play against Plum, Peach, and Luigi, each of whom is a CPU. We are going to play 9 holes of stroke play on Toad Highlands. We will play on the front 9. If you press C down, you play 18 holes. C right on the screen is the back 9. C left on the screen is the front 9. If you press C up, you actually access the bet menu, in which it's kind of tricky to explain. This basically gives you an avenue to actually bet real-life money on certain outcomes. For example, if you bet an opponent that you can hit the ball farther than someone else on a par 5 hole, you can bet money on that. You can also bet on contest of accuracy on a par 3 hole. Whoever lands closest to the hole wins. The difference in total scores will allow you to bet how much more. You can basically bet how much better you'll do than someone else with all sorts of different rules. Skins is something that I'll explain in the future. You can also bet on doubles, so you can have 4 people playing at once. Players 1 and 2 bet players 3 and 4 on who get the best combined score. So, I don't know, whatever, I'll just do that. At this point, you can also set stroke handicaps. You can set anywhere between 0 and 36, which means that if you are approximately 5 strokes better than an opponent, you can give that opponent a 5-stroke handicap to try to even things up. This is a great way to try to get beginners and experts to play a competitive game, even if their difference in skill level is very wide. A handicap of 36 is the biggest handicap that you can get in this game. That's basically 2 extra strokes per hole. So if someone's getting par on average and someone else is getting double bogey on average, the player that gets double bogey on average should get a 36 handicap in order to even that out. So to demonstrate how the handicap works, I'm going to give Plum a 2 handicap and Peach a 1 handicap. And Luigi I'm going to give none, because I want to beat Luigi on fair terms. After all, as I mentioned on the previous part, I am playing for the right to use Luigi. All I have to do is do better than him, and I will allow myself the ability to play as him. So let's play the front 9. All these holes are the same, although the wind and weather conditions are random. See, I have a 7-mile-an-hour tailwind this time. You see how the dotted line is tilted to the right somewhat instead of straight ahead? That's because Baby Mario is not actually a straight shooter. Baby Mario shoots draws. A draw is when the ball tilts to the right as you shoot it, and then leans back to the left. Plum and Princess Peach are both fade players, while Peach and Plum are both straight shooters, while Luigi is a fade player, and you'll see his shot aim toward the left, and then bend back to the right.
Nice shot!
See how the ball, well, it's difficult to tell from this angle, but the ball is tilting back toward the left after shooting off to the right initially. Plum, on the other hand, is a straight shooter. Goes straight ahead. I'm going to hold the Z button during their shots, which speeds them up a little bit while the ball is rolling. Peach hits 212 yards, a bit more powerful than Plum, while also being a straight shooter. Luigi hits 220 yards, the most powerful character so far, but he hits somewhat hard to the left, and then the ball will lean back over to the right. That's called a fade shot. In a multiplayer match, the player who is farthest from the hole gets the next turn. So that's why Plum is hitting next. There are no difficulty settings for each of these computers. Generally, the farther to the right the player is on the character select screen, the more difficult they are. So Plum is very easy to play against, with Peach being slightly more difficult and Luigi more difficult than that. You'll notice that Bowser and Metal Mario, all the way on the right side, are extremely good players. Very, very difficult to beat. So now it is my turn. When I play in tournament mode, I'm going to play with a bit more of an explanatory sort of commentary, describing my thought process as I go. But the multiplayer matches are a bit more of a casual affair, in which I just hang out and talk about the players that we play against, and describe their faults and technicalities of the game, or perhaps whatever their strengths may be. I want to show off every CPU character at least once, so that you can see firsthand what they are good at and what they may be weak at. And obviously, as we play more and more players in multiplayer mode, they're going to be more and more difficult. Whoa!
Nice birdie!
An excellent chip and birdie from Peach. Very nice. Ooh, Plum just barely missed that one. Let's see, completely flat putt, 10 feet. Right there is good. And I sink it.
Nice par. Nice par.
Alright, so the score tells you how many strokes above or below par you are. Plus for above par, minus for below par. The more negative, the better, and the more positive, the worse. This scorecard tells us how many strokes we took on each hole and what our total is. You will see a white line under hole 2 for Peach and for Plum. That is a handicap. That tells you that whatever score they get on that hole, they're given a 1-stroke handicap so that they actually score 1 less, so that in the end, their total number of strokes will be 1 better than they actually shot. So that's how the handicap works, and you can definitely use that to create more even multiplayer matches, even with players at different skill levels. Here's the bet menu. The bet menu tells us all the different sorts of bets that are going on. If you do something to win a bet, you will improve your score, and if you do something bad, you will lose a bet, and the grand total of all bets is added together with the bet total all the way over at the right. It's kind of difficult to explain all of these individually at once, so perhaps I may emphasize different betting methods over the course of the Let's Play. On par 3 courses, we activate a closest to pin contest, which is one of the things that you can bet on. The idea is to try to land the ball as close to the pin as you possibly can, and whoever's ball is closest to the pin after everyone takes their initial shot is the winner. If you don't land on the green, it will count as a miss and you will not get a score at all. So let's see if I can do well.
Nice shot.
The wind carry me over there. Because Baby Mario is a draw player, I have to aim. If the wind is blowing from left to right, and I shoot from left to right at first, because Baby Mario is a draw player, the wind continues to blow that ball, and the ball has a really hard time coming back toward the left. So you have some complicated wind dynamics with draw and fade players, which make them more difficult to play as. So beginners, I would especially recommend trying to pick a player that shoots straight. Some of the most powerful characters in the game have very strong fades and very strong draws, which requires some expert play to make up for whatever havoc the wind may be playing.
Nice on.
Peach did not land on the green, so her score is considered a miss. And you can see that with my 24.78 feet, I am the closest to the pin. So I won that bet for closest to pin, and you'll see that reflected in the bet menu after this hole. Luigi misses a rather long putt, but put himself in a good position to tap in. Plum also misses a difficult putt. I'm up. Let's see, it's pretty flat, not much elevation change. A tiny bit of tilting. That should do it. How did I miss that? What happened to that tilt at the start? Oh, got it.
Nice par.
Alright. Peach shot par.
Nice par.
But you can see that she has a -1 handicap over on the right. Plum also shot par, but because of the -1 handicap, she was scored basically like she got a birdie.
Nice par.
I scored par as well, but I wasn't given that extra stroke because I do not have a handicap.
Nice par.
Luigi lacks a handicap as well. So when you take the handicaps into consideration, Peach is in the lead with -2, where Plum and I are tied for second. Once again, we can see with the bet menu, because we had a bet of 2 on the closest to pin contest, I actually scored 6 points, 2 per opponent, and the others got -2 right here. So when you add together all the bets, I'm currently up $6, Plum down 2, Peach up $6, and Luigi down $10 because of his poor score and his losing the closest to pin contest. Here is hole number 3. Let's see here. Long way down and a tailwind, so I'll aim a bit more over here. The wind's also blowing me to the right, which means I'll continue to go off to the right rather than curving back to the left. I won't curve back to the left very much. And good placement. On the first hole, Peach and I score birdies. Whoever scores best on the previous hole, those are the players that get to go next. And whenever we all tie on a hole, like we did on the previous hole, the order is maintained. Plum and Luigi got pars on the first hole, so they go after the ones who score birdie. It's called having the honors. If you have the best score of a particular hole, you get to tee off first in the next one. That's what we call having the honors. That shot looked a little risky, but Luigi managed to use his fade and the wind to pull it back to the right pretty strongly. Not sure where Plum's going. Plum is aiming way right of the hole and underhit it quite a bit.
Nice on.
That's a very long putt for Plum. The best sort of golf shot, like I've always keep saying, is one that makes your next shot easier.
Nice on.
Let's see. I'm going 2 yards up. 112 will be very short, so I'm going to want to go this way. It's a left-to-right wind, which affects Baby Mario's shots a lot because of his draw. So I'm gonna aim over here. And since I'm going 2 yards up, 6 yards extra should be okay.
Nice on.
27-footer.
Nice on. Nice touch.
That one might do it. Ooh,
Nice touch.
just short. Wow, that's gotta burn. Let's see. Starts flat. A tiny amount of tilt as we approach the hole. Very close to flat, only a tiny bit downhill. Should go about this much. That should do it. Tilting toward the hole, and bam! Very nice. Peach with a good birdie opportunity. And just misjudges the tilt.
Nice par. Nice par.
Oh, wow.
Nice par.
So the reason why I just got a huge improvement in the bet is that the bet on skins mode is 5. The way skins works is that whoever has the best score of a hole wins all the value of that hole. But if there is a tie for first, then the value of that hole carries over to the next hole, and so on and so forth. I was the only one to score birdie, so I had the single best score of this hole, so I took the value of this hole and all the values of the previous holes that were carried over. And because it's 5, with 3 opponents, that's 15 points, times the number of holes that were carried over, plus the current one is 3, that would be 5 times 3 times 5, which is 45. So that's a lot of bet. Now that we're on a par 5, we have a longest drive contest, which I do not think I'm going to win because Luigi is considerably more powerful than I am. I'm going to hold the control stick forward to increase the amount of topspin my ball has, and to keep the ball lower so it is not as affected by the wind. Also, Baby Mario can hit fireballs. Each character has a different sort of effect if they hit a perfect power shot. Many characters hit a strong, powerful blue trail, like you saw with Plum back in the Toad tournament. Yoshi and Donkey Kong can hit rainbows. Wario can hit a super-powered electrical shot, which I'm sure you'll see at some point. And I believe Mario, Baby Mario, who else? And Metal Mario hit fireballs. I hit the ball the farthest, so I won the longest drive contest. The thing you need to keep in mind about longest drive contest is that if you do not land on the fairway or the green, your shot actually will not count. If it's anything other than fairway or green, it's not going to count. Even if it's the semi-rough, or the rough, or the bunker, or whatever, If it's not fairway or green, it doesn't count. Speaking of rough, let's see. I want to be somewhere around here. Then I'll have an uphill approach to the green from there. Good use of power
Nice
from
on.
Plum. Although she probably should have hit it harder. Peach
Nice on.
just makes the green, but has a long putt for birdie. Luigi gives it a bunch of extra power, because he's in the rough, headwinds, and uphill.
Nice on.
Just makes the green. Let's make sure we get on nicely. See, we got a headwind, crosswind, and uphill. We'll probably want to aim somewhere around here.
Nice on.
Now I've got an easier putt. It's generally good to be within 30 feet of the hole. Ooh. If you sink a putt that's 30 feet or longer, you actually get a mole to appear, which is pretty nice to signify that you've made a long putt.
Nice touch.
But it's generally best to keep your putts within 30 feet, because then you get to use the short putting meter, which is generally more forgiving than the middle putting meter. There are 20 tick marks from the start to the end, and with a 30-foot putt, each tick mark represents 1.5 feet, because that's 30 divided by 20, 1.5. But on a middle putt, each tick mark represents 5 feet, which means you need to be much more precise about accurately aiming a middle than a short. Long putts are extremely rarely done. Only very, very long greens are even 200 feet in length to begin with. Long putts are generally reserved for trying to putt onto the green from a fairway, for example, which is a technique you can try. There's not any tilting from this perspective, but it looks like there's tilting from here, which is a little bit confusing. Let's try a tiny bit of tilt, and then go from here.
Nice.
There it is.
Nice par.
Alright. An easy tap in for Luigi for
Nice
par.
par.
And we are 4 holes into the front 9, which means we're just a little bit under halfway there. We're going to play the remaining 5 holes next time, and we'll see if we can finish strong and beat Luigi in order to be able to use him in this Let's Play. We'll finish this off and hopefully win this next time. Thank you guys for watching. Do your reading, do your homework, ask your instructor questions, and go to office hours. See you guys next time.